I've been one YouTuber that says that I don't think the Vancouver Canucks have had a bad offseason so far, in my opinion. We're gonna be touching on some really interesting rumors other than the Joshua trade today. I'm gonna have to be a little critical of it because I don't love it from the Canucks perspective. But guys, welcome back to Pixel Plus Hockey. If you can make sure to hit that subscribe button, it would be so greatly appreciated. And thank you so much to those that are already supporting me. Now, the first thing I would like to talk about is the Dakota Joshua trade. It's interesting. When the rumors came out, I actually touched on him a couple of videos, Vancouver Canucks videos ago, that he was definitely a player that it seemed that the Canucks were going to move very recently, and that happened. Now, the Maple Leafs nabbed him, and again, I understand why the Canucks probably wanted to move him away. I guess they want to, they want to clear salary cap space. But this is the problem with moving a guy like Dakota Joshua is, again, fans love guys like this, and so do I. Now, it's very easy to understand why. Okay, he's a guy that gets out there. He hits a lot, right? Like guys that can score some goals, they can hit, they're decent defensively. And here's the thing about Dakota Joshua. He crashes the net. I love players like this. I love players that play in the guts of the game. And when it comes to the Vancouver Canucks, I personally probably would have just kept him. One of the big issues that I have with this trade is they traded the player at a low. Like Dakota Joshua had a bad season. Do you really think that that's the worst season that he's going to have in his career? Probably. And let's remember, he had a health scare. I don't think it's unreasonable to think with third line ice time playing with McMahon and Nicola Waugh, I don't think that it's outrageous to say he'll score, 15 goals. That's reasonable, I think. And they only gave up a fourth round pick. Now, it also depends on what the Canucks do from this point. We don't want to bury them too hard because, maybe they make a really good trade or a really good free agent signing, and then we'll go from there. But here's the thing. I have to be consistent. They got Besser. They have Evander Kane. They made some good moves. So I'm not going to bury them too hard, but it all depends on what they do from here. But we do have a very interesting quote to go over, and there's more rumors as to what they're going to be doing from this point. Quote, speaking of the Joshua trade, several analysts are wondering what the Canucks are up to. Losing a player for just a fourth round pick feels like bad asset management, but there is a sense the Canucks might not be done. Evander Kane is being viewed by some as an upgrade over Joshua, and now the Canucks might pivot and add another piece. Rick Dollawall reports, is there a match between the Canucks and Jack Roslovic? There have been talks between him and the Canucks camp. Now, it's interesting, Roslovic was actually talking with the Toronto Maple Leafs. By far, in my opinion, he's probably the best remaining unrestricted free agent, so this wouldn't be a bad get. Now, I guess logically you could look at it as Evander Kane for Dakota Joshua, but I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's Joshua or it's Jack Roslovic. Now, Jack Roslovic probably has a little bit more of a consistent offensive ceiling. I don't think he brings the gritty play that Joshua brings. Again, I'm going to say this again. I understand why Joshua is a fan favorite, okay? Guys that hit and they do all this, they're always going to be a fan favorite. Jack Roslovic, I wouldn't say he's as good two-way. I wouldn't say he's as good at crashing the net. And this is where I have a little bit of difficulty with this. And again, it all depends on what Roslovic ends up getting. Like, I'm really interested to see that because Dakota Joshua is getting $3.250 million. If they give that to Roslovic, would you prefer of that? Okay, so you know what? I'll make this the question of the video right now. Would you actually prefer Roslovic over Dakota Joshua, or should they have just kept Joshua, figuring that he's probably going to have a better year next year? I would have preferred if the Vancouver Canucks, from my perspective, just kept Joshua. Obviously, from my perspective in the Canucks, the pipe dream here is for them to get a Marco Rossi. We've heard reports that they are very clearly interested in Marco Rossi. Marco Rossi, till this day, is still not signed back with the Wild. He's been not very happy with his organization. Listen, I'd way rather they get Rossi than Jack Roslovic. Let's be real here. I would prefer if they spend this money on, or their cap space and assets, might I add, on an impact player. And we also know that there was rumors between the Buffalo Sabres and the Vancouver Canucks, like really serious rumors that David Pagnotta dropped. And it's interesting that they were actually talking, and this was during the season as well, that they were talking about Elias Pettersson and Bowen Byram, some kind of swap between those two players. Which I looked up, I was like, during that, I don't love that trade rumor as much for the Canucks either. Like, I don't know, I don't think the Canucks have had a bad offseason, but some of these rumors that we're hearing, I just don't like. I think that they got to keep Elias Pettersson, especially now. I can't imagine they're going to trade him to go into the season. Buffalo has re-signed Bowen Byram. Now, I don't think that's going to put the Bowen Byram rumors to bed just yet. But, again, center in today's league in 2025 is always going to take precedent over a left-hand shot D. It's weird. I think that a lot of the reason why people have a bad taste in their mouth is a lot of Canucks fans seem to have liked Shelovs. Now, my opinion on Shelovs, I'm not a huge fan of Shelovs, but it seems that Canucks fans, they really think that he's going to be a good young goalie. I just don't share that value. I definitely understand why they're pissed off that they got rid of Dakota Joshua, because I hold the opinion that I love players like this. Obviously, he's a bottom six player, but I'm sorry, guys that are third liners are going to be really good. And at the end of the day, the Leafs are going to have, McMahon, Waugh, all these big, Dakota Joshua, all these big guys that can score a little bit, that have a big impact on the game, because at the end of the day, size is always going to matter in the National Hockey, no matter what you guys do. Anyways, I am going to end the video there. If you could make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, guys. And make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.